right, Garrett Johnston here with Alex Cejka. And Alex, you're coming off a big win, your fourth PGA Tour Champions win. You got to play with your idol, Bernhard Langer. And I know you and I were just talking about that off camera. Like, how special was that to win in his group?
It was special. I played over the last couple of years many rounds with him, but it's a difference if you play in a major the first 2 rounds with him, or towards the end, like either final group or second last group. And we played a bunch in the past, but to play with him in the last group and then winning the tournament, that was for me on Sunday pretty emotional coming down the stretch. And because we both had a couple good runs in the final groups together, and either he won, somebody else won, so we were short. But that was a special day for me, yes.
Yeah. Well, when you have pressure like that, what kinds of things help you? Is it a mental checklist? Help you deliver under pressure in your experience?
Yeah, everybody handles the pressure a little bit differently. I felt pretty comfortable on the golf course. In the past, I played really well. I finished like third, second, fourth, so in the last couple of years. So I really like the golf course. And the wind was in my favor, like Sunday. The last couple of holes were downwind, so that's a big key factor. Where, really tough winds. If it's into the wind, it's really tough holes. It would have been a little bit different scenario if you lead by one and you have those 3 holes into the wind. Luckily, they were downwind. I felt comfortable. I played them well the couple of days before, so I was actually pretty calm in those circumstances, let's say this way.
Sure. Well, obviously, there's so many aspects of the game that we can learn from. And over the years, what has helped you with driving, just being a consistent driver of the ball?
I think we all grind. I think it's the key. It's not only the driving or the mid irons or the chipping and putting. I think everybody who still plays out on this tour is not sitting at home on the couch and is doing nothing. They all hit balls. I mean, if you see now on the driving range, there's guys hitting balls for 3 hours, 4 hours, and they in the mid 60s or end of 60s like Bernhard. So everybody's grinding. Everybody's trying to find that something special for the week or for the next couple of tournaments. So that's what we do. You just practice for hours and hours, like week by week, for moments like I had on Sundays. And occasionally it pays off. Not always, but it was really special because it was my first 3-round tournament win. That was a little bit special. The previous ones were 4-rounders. That one was 3 rounds. I thought I will never. When you see all those guys on the leaderboard week in, week out, and you see what a caliber they're playing, and every round somebody shoots 64, 65. So it's really tough to compete, right? So I really thought I might never get the chance. So it was really nice to have it done.
I know your caddy, TJ Janis, has told me that you're such a feel player. And so I'm just curious, when it comes to iron play, what has helped you in your feels with irons?
Yeah, I'm a field player too, especially when it's tougher conditions. When it's tougher conditions, when it's cold, when it's windy. Yes, we play by numbers. Everybody has a kind of a special distance with special clubs. But sometimes when you have a 20-mile-an-hour, gust, so you gotta play a little bit different shots. Yes, it helps that Europeans have the tendency to play a little bit better in bad weather because we're used to it, right? We had it when we were young, bad weather in Europe, and it helped me probably over the years that I'm from Europe. Obviously I'm getting a little bit softer now, being 25 years here in America.
Softer, huh?
And playing sunshine golf, as they say. But I like tough conditions. I always like tough conditions. I always like tough courses because it's just sometimes to make pars is a good score, right, on a tough golf course. And I really never liked, even back then when I played the PGA Tour, where you play courses where the wind is 30 under par, where it's just a putting competition. So I always like courses where it's a little bit challenging, and the tendency was good in the past.
Right. Well, speaking of good tendencies, when you're out at a pro-am and you're playing with these amateur partners, what's a common tendency we see with chipping that we can get better at?
You mean from the amateurs?
From the amateurs. What are you seeing? How can we improve?
Well, amateurs are, I think every week I'm playing amateurs. They kind of hit good drives, good approach shots. Most of them, they bomb a drive down there. They have 60 yards to the pin, and then they skull it over the green. I think most of the amateurs don't practice the short game as much as we do. This is our bread and butter. It doesn't matter what tour you look at those guys or play at. Those guys just practice short game, and that's why they're so good. That's why it looks so easy on TV, right? But regular amateurs, they just come out on the weekends, play with the buddies. They really don't put the hours to like practice chipping, pitching, putting, and I think that's the only difference. That I think you can improve everything when you put a little bit of practice into it.
Do we get too steep a lot of times with our chipping, or do we hit too much loft that you see?
No, I've seen everything. I've seen from too much hand rotation, too much movement. I mean, everybody has a different scenario. It's just the feel is also not there, and then most of the amateurs are literally not used to those fast greens, rock hard greens, the shaved fringes. What we have normally when you play a different or home golf course for those boys. Yes, the courses are in great shape, but I mean, we have, like last week, the greens were running like 13 on the stimp meter, so this is pretty fast. So this is really unrealistic for regular amateur golfers.
Speaking of greens, what has helped you with your putting over the years? The right attitude, the right mindset for you, Alex?
A lot of different putter changes. You got to find what works for you. We all fiddle. I don't want to say I'm the only one or Darren Clark is the only one. We all, on every tour, we fiddle. We're trying to find the best what works that week. Obviously practice. Obviously you do a lot of drills. You do a lot of lag putting. You do different kind of practice on different greens. If it's Bermuda grass, if it's Poana, if it's there's different kind of grass what we play during the season. So every week is different. You got to work on a couple different things. Depends what kind of grass you playing in that tournament.
What about with sand and the bunkers that you approach? What's the right attitude that's worked for you with bunker play over the years?
When you look at my statistic in the bunker shots, I think personally I'm a really good bunker player, but then I look at the statistic and I'm like at 40% making up and downs. I'm just like, I don't get it. So I
believe everything you read.
Yeah, no, I'm hitting good bunker shots, but it's I don't get frustrated anymore. When I was younger, you don't hit the green with an 8 iron. You were like frustrated and everything. Now I hit it in the bunker, and I got to deal with that situation, right? If you don't hit the green, you got to go with the attitude like, now I got to somehow make up and down for a par, or it doesn't matter where you are. If it's a flop shot over the bunker or bunker. When I was younger, I was like, didn't hit the green with a pitching wedge. I was like, not breaking clubs, but I was mad. That's understandable. But, over the years you grow up, you played a lot of courses so many times, so you kind of know where your mistakes are, where you can't hit it, where you should hit it, and you do a plan for the golf course like this, and you hit a bad shot, you're in the bunker. Yes, I'm going in there, and it's the way it is. The ball is in there. If it's plugged, if it's not plugged, if it's a good lie, if there's no sand, I'm still trying just somehow to make an up and down, and I think that's the only reason I go in there with not anger, but you know what I mean. I'm playing totally different golf around the short game than when I was a young kid.
Well, that's when conditions are tough and harder, but when things are going really well, you got off to a great start as an amateur, and you got a chance at your lowest round. What's the right attitude to keep the round going?
Well, you shouldn't be counting. A lot of amateurs are like, oh, they counting the shots and everything. Even in the pro-am, I was like, just play golf. Don't count. Forget it. I mean, yeah, you are maybe 1 over par and you have a 10 handicap. And on the front 9, it's just don't count. You just play golf, and then we calculate later.
The last thing I want to say, I got a glimpse of your hair this morning. We got to see on camera how cool this haircut is. It's pretty cool.
It's a little bit short right now, but luckily my hair is still growing, so it's going to grow back.
What's the inspiration for this?
No, just, I changed my looks quite a bit. I used to have long hair, then I shaved it off totally, and then there's no inspiration. I just like to fiddle a little bit, like I fiddle with golf, I fiddle with my hair a little bit.
Well, Alex Cejka, clearly having fun here on the PGA Tour Champions. Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.